Today is the last day of the regular season. That's correct, the last day of the regular season. So, I really quickly wanted to go over almost every team in the NBA, talk about, well, every team that I care to talk about, because there are a lot of teams that they're getting the pass. We're not talking about them. We'll do a quick recap of every team's season, and we'll do like if they exceeded my expectations, did not reach my expectations, all that stuff. We'll do that. That's what we're doing today. I will not be doing today. Today I won't be, at least. I will not be doing a predictions for the play-in and postseason because there is technically one last day. I technically don't know which teams are going to be in the play-in and which order they're going to be in. And being in the 7-8 game is a lot better than being in the 9-10 game, because losing the 9-10 game means you're out of the postseason. And then losing the game between as a result of whoever loses the 7-8 game and wins the 9-10 game, that's another game you have to win if you were in that position of the 9-10 game. That's a different position. And with the play-in tournament being single elimination, obviously, right? It's single elimination for the 9-10 players. It's much more beneficial for me to actually wait to see which teams are going to be in that situation in the first place. But with all that being said, we're going to be doing this very quickly. Well, not very quickly, but as quickly as I can for a spitballing guy on the internet. Alright. If you enjoy this video, please do like, comment, subscribe. There are not many other creators like me for a multitude of reasons, but I would like for you guys to help this community grow, and maybe I can inspire someone else like my forefathers have inspired me. Okay, let's talk about Detroit real quick. We're going to go down the standings pretty much in order. Detroit has absolutely exceeded my expectations. Now, I expected them to be a very good team. I expected them to be a playoff team. I even expected them to be one of, if not the best teams in the East record-wise. I did not expect this team to be, as of today, on the cusp of winning 60 games. I don't think anyone had that expectation. They could win 60 games today. They could have a 60-win season for the first time, I think, even in franchise history. This is really, really impressive, to me at least. I don't know how others feel about this. I don't know how people feel about this at all. But having an All-NBA season from Cade Cunningham, which is going to be, it's not going to be one because he missed the season, but like having an All-NBA caliber season from him, All-NBA first caliber season from him. Jalen Duren being another guy who's also an all-star on this team, that's actually very impressive. People are finally seeing what Isaiah Stewart brings to the team besides fighting. JB Bickerstaff has gotten another opportunity as a coach. I love JB Bickerstaff. I love everything that's going on in Detroit. It's amazing. Let's talk about the Celtics real quickly. The Celtics exceeded expectations too. I know you're going to hear this and be like, they exceeded expectations? How? I didn't think a team without Jason Tatum, without Porzingis, without Drew Holiday would even be in the postseason. I thought they were just going to tank. Joe Mazzulla heard the idea of a gap year and said, fuck no, we're not doing that. We aren't doing that. As a matter of fact, we aren't doing that so much. Let's be the second best team in the East. Let's win 55 games for the majority of this, without having Tatum for the majority of the season. Derek White has been amazing. I don't need to say anything about how amazing Jaylen Brown has been this season. And Jaylen Brown was coming off a down year last year. None of us thought that this would be this. We were all joking in the offseason when we found out about Tatum and how long it was going to be. One of the times that we were like, what are you going to do to prove yourself? And not only did they meet expectations, they exceeded them. They exceeded them in a way that I frankly could not predict it. The New York Knicks, they have basically met my expectations. With the East being as wide open as it was, right? I obviously knew that the New York Knicks were not going to be gunning for the number 1 seed in the East. I knew that. Now, it was always in their grasp. Well, not always, but it was in their grasp very early in the season, and they could have tried to go for it. But I really realized that this didn't matter. I don't think it mattered for this team to be gunning in the regular season. They needed to figure everything out through the regular season and experiment as much as possible. To this point, I still think they haven't really figured out what Cat's role is. I don't think Cat knows what his role is. It's been very inconsistent. They have met expectations, but they have not been amazing. I pretty much expected this team to be right here. That's pretty much what I expected. Overall, though, I think I was pretty good. I did pretty well with my predictions. All right, next. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they've met my expectations, and I know a lot of people are going to say, you're repping a Cleveland jersey right now, and this team has met your expectations. Yes. I knew going into the season that we were going to be without Max Strus for a long time. I knew after the season we were going to be without Darius Garland for a long periods of time, and when he came back, he was going to be unhealthy. I knew that. And I knew this team would not be as good as they were last year. I knew for a fact that they were not going to win anywhere near 60 games. I knew that. The thing for me in this Cleveland team, right, was I need to see vast improvements on the little things, the hustle and stuff like that. They needed to do that for me. They did not do that, and I was like, if they don't do that, they are not going to win nearly as many games as they did last year. They're not. This team is worried about the postseason first and foremost. The same thing that I was saying about the New York Knicks, where I'm like looking over, like these are probably the two best teams in the East, just straight up. But that being said, I don't see them gunning for this. I don't see them gunning for the standings. These two teams have done the exact same thing I'm talking about. But the thing with this team is, the Cleveland Cavaliers at least, is I did not expect them to trade Darius Garland. I thought, for certain, that they would look at this year and be like, we're worried about the postseason, we will not rush Darius Garland back at all. We will take as much time as humanly possible to get him healthy. And shocker, he looks really good when he's healthy. Now, running it back with this team is what I expected this team to do. I expected them to run it back with DeAndre Hunter. I expected them to run it back with Darius Garland. I expected them to do as much as they could running back everything they could, because they're going to miss out on Ty Jerome and stuff. I did not think this team would reboot. That has exceeded my expectations. I did not think this team would change up everything. I didn't think they would go and get James Harden. I didn't think they would go and get Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. I didn't think they would wait as long as they did for Max Strus to come back. And I didn't think that when he finally did come back that he would be taking the starting spot over Tyson. I thought Tyson has been playing amazing this year, and I think Tyson has earned the starting spot, especially considering Strus has had less time than Jason Tatum even to get his feet and footing underneath him. And Tatum I've been seeing news about Tatum the entire season. I am a Cavs fan. I'm sorry, I did not see shit about Max Strus's return time. No one was saying anything. They were like, he'll be back this season, but we don't know when. That was weird. Yeah. As far as, let's talk about Atlanta. Atlanta's the very next team on the standings, and I know you're going to say to yourself, did Atlanta exceed your expectations? I expected Atlanta to be a very mid team. And they have thoroughly surpassed being mid. I will say that. Now, I thought being mid for them, because I didn't think the conference would be this competitive. I thought that they would be a 40-win team. I thought that they would be just like a 42 smack dab in the middle, mid-ass organization team that they have been all the year. They've been every single year of my existence as a basketball fan. They've just been a mid team. Because even in the seasons where they win 60 games, everyone thoroughly understands that this team is a mid team, right? My thing for this team, right? That's why I feel so disgusted when they compared our team last year to the Atlanta Hawks. It's disgusting. Anyway, the reason I was so down on them is because they were gonna have Trae Young, presumably for the most of the season, and I was like, the defense is not gonna be good enough. Their offense is kind of mediocre. It relies a lot on heliocentric principles from Trae Young to carry this team. That's not enough. I didn't see the emergence of Jalen Johnson being nearly this good. I did not. I did not see Nickeil Alexander-Walker being as productive as he was for them. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, by the way, has broken their franchise records on threes. And that record didn't belong to Trae Young. So, what the fuck was he doing? I'm so serious when I say this. He was getting Steph comps for such a long time. And it's because he was small and shot threes. He plays nothing like Steph Curry. His off-ball movement is nothing like that. That was so disrespectful a comparison for so long. I'm so glad that it's fucking over. Oh, yeah. That being said, I thought this team was going to be mid. I did not see the improvements that they were making. And I didn't think adding CJ McCollum would make this much of a difference for this team. Holy fuck, it's made a difference. Just having another guard that can dribble and play make and shoot a little bit, right? All of those things, yeah, that helped a lot. I thought this nigga's career was done when he was in New Orleans. I didn't think his career could get better when he got sent to Washington. He has been very, very productive considering he's played on two losing-ass organizations previously. And then previous to that, just straight fucking mid, boo-boo in Portland. So yeah, there's that. This match is probably gonna just be Eastern Conference considering the pace that I'm going at. I'm not gonna lie. Let's talk about the Orlando Magic. You said, why are we skipping the Raptors? I don't want to talk about the Raptors. All right, cool. No, but on a more serious note, I've literally not watched enough basketball games to talk about the Raptors the entire season. So when you're scheduling stuff for the NBA, right, you can't watch every single game, and you have to know who are the teams that you're going to be watching for to talk about. And with the Toronto Raptors, not only are they playing in a foreign country, so it's really hard to pull views on them because I'm a small channel. If I was a larger channel, it would be much easier for me to invest my time in this. But I'm a small channel. I can't watch every single team. It's not my job. Watching the Toronto Raptors, I love basketball, by the way, but watching the Toronto Raptors is the way their roster is currently constructed. It's just fucking boring. I'm sorry, it is. They're a thoroughly mediocre team with a great defense. Their offense is not impressive in the slightest. I can tell you that. From every time I've watched this team, they are very prone to crumbling in the fourth quarter, and it doesn't make for an interesting experience. It's because they are when the schedule comes out for every day, right? And I look over at the schedule, I'm glancing at Toronto Raptors games, and normally they're playing at like 7 or 7:30, right? Because they're an Eastern Conference team, Eastern Coast team. And they're like the C game. Whoever they're playing and what they're playing against, they're the C game. I have an A-B game that I need to watch consistently to pick up and notice things and talk about the guys and that are on there. The Toronto Raptors are there. They're a C team. And some nights they're a D game. Because once their game is in the like fourth quarter and whatnot, bro, that's that's time for me to watch my A-B Western Conference teams. I'm sorry, guys. I do not have enough information about the Toronto Raptors to thoroughly dissect them. I do know the statistic. They are a shit fourth quarter team. So any team that is lucky enough to see them in the first round, which based on what I'm seeing right now is going to be the Knicks, that is going to be food. That is going to be easy. I don't even need to worry about that for them. The Orlando Magic, they have been thoroughly disappointing, and it's all Paolo Banchero's fault. I mean that. I truly do mean that. The shooting slump that we've seen from Desmond Bane, all of that. No, that is the primary reason that this team is fucking mid. Not even mid. Ass cheeks. And I just mean like thoroughly disappointing. Because they were supposed to be another 50-win team in this season. They were supposed to be the 50-win teams that were going to be out there was supposed to be Detroit, Cleveland, the New York Knicks, maybe the Celtics, just maybe. And then the Orlando Magic were supposed to be one of those guys definitively. They're not. They're not definitively like that. They are. Oh, to say that this team has not reached expectations is disgustingly an understatement. They have been awful. The things that I've said about the Raptors, oh my God, I've watched Orlando. They're the same team as the Raptors, but somehow worse. You have Franz and Paolo. I thought it was going to work. You have Desmond Bane as well. You have they had a healthy season from Jalen Suggs. I thought all of those things will lead the defense to be better than it was last year. It's worse. How is it worse? This team stinks. It's really disappointing to watch them, honestly. I don't even know what to say. I can't express how badly this team is underachieved expectations. It's not just my expectations. It's the expectations of literally everyone. And no one is talking about it because they're Orlando. They should be getting shit out of the wazoo for how much of an underperformance they have performed. They have performed terribly, dog. It has been bad. Okay, let's talk about the Sixers. The Sixers are pretty much right here. So, the Sixers started the season off hot, and they didn't have Joel Embiid for a lot of the beginning of the season, and I was thinking to myself, could the Sixers be all right? Oh, with VJ Edgecombe going off, yeah, that could be good. Let's see how they involve Jarrett McCain in the offense. And then they proceeded to not do that. To give Quentin Grimes an extension. Yeah, let's not even talk about the malpractice that is that action. Let's act like we didn't see that, all right? As far as Jesus Christ, man, I don't even know what to say. So Embiid has obviously missed games and all that. I've expected that. Paul George has missed games. I didn't think Paul George would be missing games because he can't pee clean. I thought he would miss games because he's Paul George and he's old. Yeah, I didn't see that. I did not see that coming. Wow. Yeah, it's I don't even know what to say about this. The Sixers were hot at the beginning of the season, by the way. Like they were not one of these teams to be trifled. They were hot. They have thoroughly been mid. I mean, I expected them to be like this. I expected Milwaukee and them to be in the same position, like right around here. But no, I didn't think it would be this bad, dog. Hornets, really quickly. There's nothing to talk about with the Hornets. I'm just fucking with you. There's a lot to talk about with the Hornets. The Hornets are not the same team that you see on the record. If you're looking directly at their record and you're thinking, oh, they're the 9th seed, I'm sorry, but you did not watch enough Hornets basketball this season. The Hornets, ever since the calendar year has flipped into 2026, have been one of the most elite teams in the NBA. It's not up for discussion. They have been amazing. They have been amazing. This team is going to be a hard out for whatever team has to see them in the first round. And I'm saying has to see them in the first round. Currently, they are the 9th seed. That means I know for a fact. I guarantee they are going to beat what looks like the Miami Heat. And they're going to beat probably the Orlando Magic, because I can see the Orlando Magic losing in the fucking play-in. That is who I think they are. Yeah, they've been amazing. LaMelo Ball, amazing. Colin Knippel has been Rookie of the Year for me, obviously. And I don't think he'll actually win it. I think Coop's going to win it because the award typically favors guys who are on losing teams in this situation, who are posting similar. If they're posting like kind of similar numbers, it's typically the guy who's on a losing team that they favor. I think personally they should do co-Rookie of the Year unless the other guys can clearly transcend it. And I know people are going to look at me and be like, you don't think Cooper Flag is transcendent? What about the 50-point game? I'm like, that's cool, dog. It's 50 in 2026. And yeah, that is very impressive from a rookie, but it is 50 in 2026. I think you guys are holding on to what 50 used to mean to you. What about the stretch he has recently late in the season? I typically favor a guy who's been more consistent over the course of the season. And also he's been having a lot more impact for a season. And I know people are going to say, impact? The Hornets are 43-38, and you just didn't acknowledge the previous point that I said, huh? Okay, all right. Anyway, yeah, no, this team's been amazing. This team has been amazing since then. Charles Lee has done an amazing job. I think he should be in talks, in conversations for coach of the year, but I think he should be in the same situation that Jordan Ott is, where it's like they're a rookie head coach for this team, or I don't even know if he's a rookie head coach. They're a new head coach for this team. And they've got this thing turned around. I don't think anyone expected it. A healthy season of LaMelo Ball should not yield you only 43 wins, though. I look for this team to make massive improvements. I think this team will be in the same spot Atlanta is right now next year. Yeah. Let's talk about the Heat. Bam, 83-point game. Analysis, Tyler Hero hurt most of the year, and Bam missed games, and team not really that good to begin with. The fact that they're a 10th seed is because his team relentlessly decides that it doesn't want to tank. No further comments. Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis hurt. Team bad. Roster construction ass. Expectations ass. I was thinking they would be like the 6th seed. No Giannis playing. Yeah, nah. That knocks about like 20 wins off your season. Yeah, that'll do it. Yep. Bulls. They're not tanking anymore. They're not trying to be mid anymore, so they're tanking. They started the season off hot. I never believed it for a second. Not at all. I don't know why anyone believed that. That was fucking stupid. I don't know why anyone believed that. That was actually like anyone who thought that the Bulls were going to be like even a play-in team this season, you're an idiot. You're dumb. You're stupid. The most relevant news that's come out of this team has been Josh Giddey rolling his ankle after getting crossed over by a guy who's no longer even on my team. And the season's spiraling from there. Trading Vucevic, trading for fucking Jaden Ivey. Like, this team is purposely trying to be bad. Yeah, they suck. They're good at being bad, but they're not as good as being bad as these other guys. So let's talk about the Nets and Pacers and Wizards. I would like to say, hypothetically, that the Pacers and the Nets are tanking. right? I say that they're tanking, right? I thought the Pacers could be making a similar situation where like the Celtics, where I thought, yeah, they could probably try for a run. They traded for their first round pick during the middle of the finals. Obviously, that means they were planning to tank. Yeah. And as far as the Wizards, let me let you in on a little secret. I don't think the Wizards are tanking. I think they just suck. Like I know there's a little bit of tanking in there, but I actually just think they suck. I think they're a similar situation to the Sacramento Queens, where the Washington Warlocks are actually just like fucking awful, and they're not actually tanking. They just suck. All right, that's it. That's my Eastern Conference video. Bye. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Yeah, I told you to do that in the middle of the video. I don't know why you were doing it and waiting to the end of the video for that, but like, yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, do that. Fun.